evening, night. Good evening, cult members. Welcome to the Pop Culture Call. We'll do it live. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
We're going to do a trailer for something that came out 2 weeks ago, and I don't care. We are going to do a trailer reaction to The Long Way Up.
Yep.
This is the third series from Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman.
Yep.
We will get into why we love this show so much after we watch this. But we're going to do this trailer reaction. I don't expect anybody to watch it except for us and Josh. But we're going to give it a watch anyway. So here we go. Long Way Up. Go.
I've been dreaming of doing a trip through South America for years.
We're here with world-famous actor Ewan McGregor.
But life got in the way. And now I've decided to do the trip with my best friend, Charlie Boorman.
You've got to look after the relationships in your life, and if you don't, you're losing something that's very important.
We'll ride 13,000 miles from the southern tip of Argentina all the way to Los Angeles.
150 miles every day is a long way to go.
And
Crazy, 150 miles a day.
We wanted to see if we could do it on electric motorcycles.
I think it's the future
Sure.
electric.
You'd be the first people to go this distance charging as you go.
Oh my god, it's so great, isn't it?
Uh-oh, the power's just gone.
This is us on the road, Charlie. This is us on the
They
way,
improved
man.
the cameras.
I'm gonna get attacked by this dog.
Look how clear the cameras are.
Yeah.
We'll ride through the brutal Patagonian winter.
Look at that snow. It's amazing how cold it is.
We're gonna climb to the extreme heights of the Andes and experience the real risks of high altitude.
I can't breathe.
I'm definitely getting sick, Charlie.
Before witnessing the endangered jungles of Central America.
To think about all of the things that might go wrong.
I think we're lost.
The list is like this long. And we're down.
And down.
In the middle of the night, things just go around your brain, don't they?
I have real fear. I don't want anyone to get hurt.
They just roll around.
I'm not gonna make it. Towing somebody on a bike is dangerous.
What if the bikes don't work? What if we can't charge the bikes? What if it snows tomorrow?
Been there.
I really enjoy the unknown of it all. Just coming across the people we come across.
Amazing, the people.
Learning about the cultures and seeing how people keep their traditions alive.
Puts you in touch with yourself and the world in a way. I'm an actor.
What films have you made?
Did anybody see Star Wars? No.
I don't think so.
None of these kids have seen anything.
Star what?
Long way up, two guys lost in South America.
Okay. I'll have to do some research. Okay.
So Charlie looks really good. He had an accident two years ago.
Yeah.
Like a pretty bad motorcycle accident. He looks really good. So
Yeah. That was his second big accident. He had a big one. He did Dakar about 8-9 years ago. The Dakar rally.
Yeah.
It used to be Paris to Dakar. Now it's just the Dakar rally. He had a pretty bad wreck in that, and then he got in a pretty bad accident like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then this was filmed last November, December. I think is when they filmed this one. So.
Okay.
The reason we are doing this, one of our favorite shows of all time was called The Long Way Around. And it was the two of them, Ewan and Charlie, who met each other on the set of a movie. Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's Christopher Robin. If I have to explain who Ewan McGregor is, you're watching the wrong show.
Train spotting.
Yeah. He was in Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
He was Mask and Birds of Prey.
Yep.
And the Great Emancipation of blah, 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 blah. Charlie Boorman was the Boorman. Boorman is not right. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, Charlie Boorman. Anyways, he was the teenage Mordred in the Excalibur movies, and he did some acting, and then he just moved on in his life. He did some acting stuff, but it was
He
never
was a child actor, and then was like, I'm over it.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And, moved
and
on.
so the two of them actually bonded on a set of a movie talking about motorcycles, and they decided on a whim to ride motorcycles from London east to New York. So going through Europe and Asia and Outer Mongolia and Kazakhstan and China and Russia and the Road of Bones and all the way across to Alaska and then down through the States and stuff. And Ewan actually got run over by a teenager in Montana, Wisconsin, something like that.
Was it? I thought it was in Canada, but yeah, in North America.
And North America. And so they did this over 3.5 months. It was this long trip. And they decided to, if they're going to do it, they might as well film it. And so they got a production crew and they got a third guy to ride with them who was actually the cameraman for the thing and stuff. And it's an amazing series talking about friendship and determination and meeting people that you like they're talking about in this trailer, where the people you don't normally just meet. It's not the tourist things. They're in some
You're in the middle of nowhere and some guy on a horse rides up and you would never have met that person because they live in a hut in the middle of Mongolia.
That episode where they're in Mongolia and they actually have dinner in a yurt is amazing.
He takes them back. He takes them home with him and they feed him.
So that one's amazing. We've watched all the way through like 7,000 or 8,000 times. Then they did another one a few years later, and they started at the very tip of Scotland and rode south all the way to South Africa, the south tip of South Africa, through the spine of Africa, and they had military escort through some of the countries and stuff. And
that one was a little sketchy. Yes. I mean, the long way around was sketchy for a different reason, because they're out in the middle of nowhere in places where there was supposed to be a road, but there really isn't a road anymore. It got washed away, whatever. Long way down is sketchy because they're going through countries that are, in the middle of civil wars, and a couple of the people that were on the cruise who were American actually could not get into some of the countries, and they had to fly them to the next available destination because people with American passports weren't allowed in.
Yeah. That was long before the COVID stuff now, where we can't go anywhere outside of the country. So both of those series are amazing. And it's really funny that in this particular trailer, Ewan talks about cultivating his relationships with the people that he's close with, because after, like, a big part of at least the second one was him missing his wife. And like 3-4 years ago, him and his wife.
No, that was the first one. The second one, she went with.
She did for parts of it.
Part of it,
yeah.
Because she didn't like that he kept leaving her. And so she went with, and it was very difficult because she barely knew how to ride, and
they were on some okay roads. I say okay roads because there's times in both series where they're on no roads. And really super experienced guys were struggling with, like, these two guys are super experienced. But the concept of what they're doing here, going through South Africa, I'm super interested in Panama, how they handle the Panama Canal and all that stuff that's going on there. And they're going to talk about immigration because that's part of it, because they're ending in Los Angeles.
And they have to cross the Mexican border.
So all of that conversation is going to be really interesting. The whole electric bike thing is interesting.
I don't even know how that's going to work. They're going through South America. It's not like, there's some big cities that probably have electric charging stations, but like the one with Charlie, they're in a house. They're in somebody's house, and they fed a extension cord out the window and then blew the circuit breaker.
Right. And like stretches of like that Chile Argentina border, there ain't nothing but mountains there. So I'm really interested in like how they're going to do that and stuff. One of the things they did a bunch of in both the first series, but and some in the second series, is they free range camped. And they had to take everything with them. And their production team would take real roads and hopscotch up in front of them to
So if they got in trouble, chances were good that they were out in the middle of nowhere and on their own to try to figure out how to, like, the camera guy's bike broke down and they had to, hobble into this tiny little town and try to find replacement parts. And
that one's interesting because they broke the frame a couple times, and then one of the bikes couldn't be repaired, so they had to buy a bike while they were there, and then had to distribute all the rest of the weight, and like it was just,
because it's not like they've got heavy duty, touring bikes available in this
little town. It was like a little scooter or whatever. But all of that stuff added on with going through extremely poor parts of Central and South America and on electric bikes and like all that stuff. And oh, by the way, Ewan is like pretty busy with the whole actor thing. He's got the Kenobi series that they're going to start filming soon, and they had, when they were filming this, they had just dropped Birds of Prey, so he's doing the press tour and stuff like that for that. And so like
but he has to be available to, I don't know how long this took him, but it was, what did he say, 3,000 miles?
13,000 miles.
13,000 miles, 150 miles a day. So they were gone for a couple months. So he's completely basically out of touch with his profession for 2 months, 3 months, whatever.
And trying to explain that to your agent, and like
well, at this point they should, this is the third time.
Right.
Oh, you're doing this again.
But I'm super excited. Now the caveat, it's Apple Plus TV. Now, we have on this show have talked about the streaming wars. The streaming wars is hugely important, and really being connoisseurs of all this kind of different stuff. At some point in time, we have to draw a line. And people are like, well, if you pay for Apple Plus and Netflix and Amazon and Disney Plus and HBO Plus and like everything, you're paying the same amount that you're paying for cable. The difference has been that cable, you have to pay that much to get all those channels. With the streaming stuff, you can choose which ones you want.
It's a la carte, and I feel like better programming options.
Yes. But this one is one of those ones where we have to see if they're going to drop them all at once, if they're going to do it week to week, and then have it be available on the process. See if we can steal somebody's thing or.
He did not say that. We will do the free month sign up thing or whatever and watch it all and then cancel it. We knew this was coming. I was really hoping they would end up on Hulu or Amazon or something like that. The other two were on Amazon, so kind of.
So I'm thinking that they paid a lot of money to get this there, because the first two are kind of cult classic television at this point in time, and we've known a lot of people who have watched both series, and we know a lot of people that when we bring up both series, they've never heard of them, but they're both. They're like, well, we got to watch this. Where is it? And so it's definitely something that we're super excited for. Coming up in the future. Let us know what you think of this trailer and our discussion about it. And it's not really a reaction. We were just trying to sell you the show. So let us know what you thought of us selling you the show and the trailer and everything in the comments down below. Be nice. That's a requirement. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and follow us on all the social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, links. And until next time, cult members, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.